Yeah, it's dangerous, and it's great to see your perspective, Alan, because you've been through a few of these phases in the country and in the government as well. What do you think when you see these, trillion-dollar companies with these technology platforms that kind of hide behind a community policy? This is what I'm going up against with YouTube, where there's this community policy that seems to change on a whim, that seems to be very subjective, and that way they seem to be making subjective judgments about content. And it's quite frustrating, but they say, well, it's a private company and you have to opt into our platform, when other people are saying these things act like public utilities and maybe we should, regulate them as such.
It's the hardest question under the First Amendment and freedom of speech that I've ever encountered in my adult life of 60 years fighting these fights. On the one hand, you don't want the government to be regulating the content of private companies, even companies that are very, very powerful. On the other hand, we see today that these private companies have more influence on public opinion than any government agency known before to history. And so how to strike the appropriate balance between the two goals of freedom of speech. One is to prevent government censorship, and two is to open up the marketplace of ideas as widely as possible. And they used to be the same because it was the government that was the primary censor under McCarthyism and other institutions of the kind. Today, it's the private sector, the university that's becoming a source of censorship, the New York Times, obviously, the social media platforms. So we really have to think hard about how to strike the appropriate balance between keeping the government out of our free speech and, on the other hand, opening up the marketplace of ideas as broadly as possible.